of Raag to invoke peacefulness, shanta rasa. Dana dana Murata Krishna Murari Dana dana Murata Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Bolo.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Rama
Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Rama,
Bolo.
Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Sare Gama Pada Ni Sa Sa Ni Da Pa Ma Ga Re Sa.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Sare Ga Re Gama Pa Ma Ga Re Sa.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Gama Ga Re Gama Da Da Pa Ma Ga Re Sa.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Ni Ni Da Pa Ma Pa Gama Da Pa Ma Ga Re Sa Ni Sa.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Ga Ga Re Sa.
Ga re sa.
Ni Ni Da Pa.
Ni da pa.
Ga Re Sa. Ni Da Pa Ma Ga Re Sa. Gama Pa Da Ni Sa Sa.
Gama pa da ni sa sa.
Gama Pa Da Ni Sa Sa.
Gama pa da ni sa sa.
Dana Dana Murata.
Dana dana murata.
Dana Dana Murata.
Dana dana murata.
Dana Dana Murata. Krishna Murari.
Krishna Murari ki jai. All glories to everybody, everywhere you are.
To all the spirit souls joining us all around the world, and especially to our friends in Southern California with Yogalution Studio in the LBC.
Yes, if you'd like to join us on Zoom, please send us an email. I'm going to share with you right here our email. It is krishnakirtanmusic@gmail.com. You can see it on the screen. I'm trying to find it. It's right here. So you can email us with your name and last name and the reason why you would like to join us, just to make sure we know you are not a robot. And we will welcome you to join us on Zoom so we can see you.
If there was a robot that displayed bhakti tendencies, I would allow that robot. So there are a lot of these movies about AI, with how robots at some point become sentient, and I can't get into the theological implications of that. But if there was a robot that was morphing into a sentient being, I would allow that robot to join. So let's not make that the clarifying distinction. We just want to know who you are because it's an intimate group on Zoom, and we kind of protect the privacy, and we like to keep it intimate. And then we hang around after class and go over any questions around it.
About the Raag and about the pastimes. And today we are covering Bhairav Raga.
Bhairav Raga.
So I'm sharing with all of you an image, a painting of Shiva already. But
and if you want to stay on the socials, we do prefer YouTube. as the social to watch this on because the quality is good. And also our channel at Krishna Kirtan Music on YouTube. So this Raag Bhairav, wow, it's kind of like there are certain herbs that you can use with everything. Oregano, cilantro, these can be kind of put with everything, a little bit of basil, But there are some herbs that are very specific in their use, maybe like nutmeg and clove and certain very strong flavors. And I feel that Bhairav has that mood. It is, it makes its mark, And a lot of people think that this Raag is perhaps shares its origins or is Middle Eastern or Egyptian or something like that, and that's not the case. It is classical Indian, and there are some distinguishing factors such as it has vakra notes, so the notes zigzag, and there are oscillations. So da and re oscillate, so they have the underlands, and then there's the glissandos or the means where we slide to certain notes. So it might at first sound, oh, that sounds a little bit Arabic or something, but it is very much its own Raag. And so Bhairav Raag is known as Adi Raga, or it's said that it was the first Raag created after the creation of the 7 notes, the 7 swaras. And it's such an ancient Raag, many, many thousands of years old, so there wasn't like one person who created it in the court of some emperor 500 years ago. This is thousands of years old, so musicians like to debate whether it was created by Lord Shiva himself or whether it was created by Surya. And we know with Surya Namaskar, the sun salutations, that this is the presiding deity of the sun. Whatever it may be, it's a beautiful Raag, and it is called Bhairav, so I side with the Shaivites who think that Lord Shiva created it. So last week we talked about Bhairavi, and she's the goddess Raag. So Bhairav is the masculine, the yang energy, or the male consort of Bhairavi, and this is Lord Shiva in a quite fearsome form. And that's why the Raag Bhairav makes you fearless, because you're protected by Bhairav, who's Kotwal. He's the protector. And in fact, a friend of ours was telling us he comes to our classes, and he lived in Nepal for a long time, and he said, oh yes, all the houses have Bhairav above the doorway, and in his very, very fearsome form. So the origin of Bhairav, it's said that this is a lovely deity of Bhairav, and we can we'll keep going through the pictures of Bhairav. He rides his mount, so sometimes you see Ganesh rides a mouse, and Saraswati rides a swan, and Shiva rides Nandi, the bull. But Bhairav, in his form as Maha Bhairav, he rides a dog. And he wears the skulls around his neck. He is covered in ash. And he is got the trishul, or the trident, and he carries a drum. And he also, it's said that as the material manifestation manifests and dissolves for every one day of Lord Brahma. So Brahma is a very exalted being. But Lord Brahma was feeling kind of like, he was perhaps a little proud. And he was saying, I'm just as good as Shiva. I mean, he's got 5 heads, I've got 5 heads. I can kind of do whatever he does. And in fact, he sort of started doing some of the things that are in the domain of Shiva. So Shiva plucked a hair from his head, which then manifested into Kala Bhairav. and he was quite a fearsome form, and he chopped off one of Brahma's heads. And so sometimes Kala Bhairav is holding Brahma's heads, but Brahma's got enough heads, it's okay. So he's fine. So that's why Brahma has 4 heads. He's got only 4 heads. And so Bhairav he's easily pleased, but he's also easily angered. And the way to do puja for Bhairav is he likes a ghee abhishek, so he likes to be bathed in ghee. Let's face it, maybe who doesn't? Unless you're vegan, you can be bathed in coconut oil. He likes a whole coconut and black sesame seeds, also ghee lamp. He likes red flowers. And the best time to worship Bhairav and his consort Bhairavi, or Shiva and Parvati, but in their forms of Kala Bhairav and Bhairavi, because Bhairavi is also Mahakali, right? Kali Ma. So is Friday night at midnight. So if you're free this Friday night at midnight and you've got nothing to do, there is a very great way to spend your time. And so Bhairav and the presiding deity of Bhairav evoke feelings of shanta or peacefulness, and they help one to feel Abhaya, or without fear. Imagine the time of day. I know we said midnight for puja, but the time for Bhairav is often used at the start of a classical concert, but its actual time of day is the first prahara of the day, which is just at sunrise, and in Vaishnava tradition that's Brahma Muhurta hour, which is an hour and 36 minutes just prior to sunrise. So just as the sun isn't up yet, but on the horizon you see it's getting lighter, you know? So imagine Shiva meditating in Kailash, right? He's in a cave, and then he starts to see the edges of the horizon becoming lighter, and he's feeling that on his eyes, and he's opened his eyes, and he's in such a state of peacefulness. This is the music in Lord Shiva's head, is Bhairav. So just
lovely.
Thank you.
Let's hear the sargam.
Yeah. So just a couple of things. The jati. So how many notes are appearing on the way up, the Arohana, and how many notes are appearing on the way down, the Avro. So it is Sampurna, Sampurna, 7 notes up, 7 notes down. And the Vadi, the main note is Da, the Samvadi is Re. And these two are komal or flat.
Let's do it slowly.
Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa.
One more time.
Sa re the paka of how it moves when we go up, often re is missed on the way up. Sa ga re sa, sa ga ma da pa, ga ma re sa. There is a caution with Bhairav because it is quite evocative and it is quite dramatic. There is a caution, don't be too melodramatic with it because it's already dramatic.
It is.
But the drama is meant to cause peace, so don't make the drama melodrama. You know what I mean?
Super drama.
Don't make it super drama, like that's just that's dry. Okay, what else about Bhairav? So this melody, this particular melody that we did, Dana Dana Murata Krishna Murari. Yes, Bhairav, the Raag, is Shiva, but this particular song is in celebration of Krishna Murari, and it's a name describing him as not the most beautiful or so enchanting or anything like that. It's actually in his quality of creating fearlessness. So you can always meditate on the divine, and then any feelings of fear will dissipate. And this particular song celebrates Krishna and that quality, that also if you meditate on Krishna, that he also can remove all your fears, all your doubts, all your hesitations, your anxiety. And so that's why it's perfect that this song is in Bhairav. So these moods match each other. And it's so as we sing this song, I would really love us to meditate, whether that be on Lord Shiva, whoever calls your heart, on Maha Kala Bhairav, or on Sri Krishna Murari, and see which, whoever is calling you, and meditate on this quality that when we know we are spirit soul, aham brahmasmi, when we really, really, really remember that we are spirit soul, that's when we become fearless. And when we just know that everything's going to be okay, and we trust in the divine and the divine plan, then we are fearless and we are filled with shanta ras. And shanta ras, or peacefulness, this is the mood of this rag.
Yes.
And also, if you happen to have anything astrological, like, you're debilitated in Rahu, Bhairav is the deity of the planet Rahu, so this is also a good rag for that.
Beautiful.
And with that.
And I want to give a shout out to Cody and Letty and our family in Mexico. Big hola. We love you, and thank you for joining us tonight to sing the Maha Mantra. So I have the Maha Mantra on the screen for you to read and sing along. Let's do it.
And a really nice shout out to Cody. We just connected, so thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
So we'll sing the Maha Mantra. But we remember, and when you can sing along, Dana Dana Murata Krishna Murari. And Dana Dana means like, oh, wonderful, wonderful. How generous, how generous. Bringing some peace into our lives and creating this state of equanimity. Dana Dana Murata Krishna Murari. Dana Dana Murata Krishna Murari. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Sare Gama Pada Ni Sa Sa Ni Da Pa Ma Ga Re Sa.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Sare Ga Re Gama Pa Ma Ga Re Sa.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Gama Ga Re Gama Da Da Pa Ma Gama Ga Re Sa.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Ni Ni Da Pa Ma Pa Gama Da Pa Ma Ga Re Sa Ni Sa.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Ga Ga Re Sa.
Ga Re Sa.
Ni Ni Da Pa.
Ni Da Pa.
Ga Re Sa.
Ni Da Pa Ma Ga Re Sa.
Gama Pada Ni Sa 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 Sa.
Dana Dana Murata.
Dana Dana Murata.
Dana Dana Murata.
Dana Dana Murata.
Dana Dana Murata. Krishna Murari. Krishna Murari ki.
Jai.
Krishna Murari, Krishna Murari, Krishna Murari, Krishna Murari. Kala Bhairav Raga ki
Jai.
and eternal consort Bhairavi ki jai.
Yes. Y todas las bendiciones para todos en todo el mundo. Los amamos. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's such a pleasure to share with you Bhairav Raga. So powerful and protective.
And protective. And in a couple of days, it is the appearance day of a great spiritual saint from the 11th century. His name is Ramanujacharya, and he is a very important figure in one of, I would say, about the four main Vedanta paths. So he is many Sri Vaishnavas follow Ramanujacharya, and he is a great proponent of the theology that God is infinite and we are infinitesimal. So there is similarities, but there is also some distinction between. And he has a wonderful temple, well, it's a very, very tall statue in Tamil Nadu. And it's, I don't know if it is the tallest sitting sitting figure of a statue in the world. It is either the tallest or the second tallest.
We did Google it yesterday just to confirm again. And it went from number 2 to number 1.
It went from number 2. I don't know how it did that. But this is a beautiful statue of Ramanujacharya. And he was very, very revolutionary for his time. He lived for 120 years. And one time he went to this sadhu for a mantra initiation, and he was sent away 18 times. And on the 18th time, when he came back, he was given this mantra and told, but this mantra, be very careful. Do not share it with anybody, because while it will give them great benediction, while they will advance very strongly, if they're not qualified, the person who gives out the mantra too freely, he'll suffer karmic repercussions and go to hell for many lifetimes. And he was like, thank you, sadhu, and he walked out the balcony and he just shouted the mantra out for everybody to hear. And the sadhu was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he said, I don't care. I will suffer 1,000,000 births in hell if even one person can benefit from hearing this mantra. And another time he met this simple farmer who asked that he bless his very old, dilapidated Bhagavad Gita. And Ramanujacharya asked him, this is amazing. Have you studied all the shlokas? Have you read, And the farmer very humbly said, no, actually, I can't read, but I get so much faith and strength from this Gita. And Ramanujacharya was crying, and he said, even though we must read the scriptures and the authoritative commentaries, still the goal is to love the Gita the way you love this Gita. And so he blessed the Gita. And just before his passing, even though he lived for 120 years, before he went into maha samadhi, he gave a discourse and he asked his disciples, and he had many thousands. He initiated tens of thousands of brahmacharis and thousands of sannyasis and many thousands of grahastas and some very wealthy and prominent figures of the day. He gave a discourse before he went into Mahasamadhi, and he just said, please never offend a sadhu or a spiritual practitioner, and always chant the holy names of God, and be ever vigilant for the enemies of lust and anger and ego. And so he just left a very simple message for them to watch our own anarthas, but also to be very forgiving and kind to other spiritual practitioners, which can be the hardest thing. So it's so nice to hear it again and again.
It's a good reminder.
And so we just give a sort of a shout out to Ramanujacharya.
Yes, absolutely. And once again, thank you so much for joining us on Zoom. And for those of you listening on Facebook and YouTube, you are more than welcome to join us on Zoom. We have our email account where we need to get your contacts just to make sure we let you in on the Zoom account. Our email is on the screen. It is krishnakirtanmusic@gmail.com. Just say your first, last name, and why you would like to join us. And we would love to see you live on Zoom, as our friends we have right now from Yogalution is so lovely. Shout out to Letty as well. Yes, thank you. Representing. with a camera. So it's so inspiring to see you, and so it's really, really nice to sing. It's like we're singing live, the real Kirtan, to see you singing back and playing the karatalas and so on. And also the advantage of joining us on Zoom is that we go over any questions at the end of the class.
Muy bien, muy bien.
Yes.
Join us weekly at this time, 7 p.m. Los Angeles time. That is currently 12 noon in sort of East Coast Australia. We do have another class at a different time slot as well, but for the Americas it's too late at night. But if you're in Europe or Bali, we have a 7 p.m. Sydney, Australia time as well, which turns out to be morning in Europe.
And please know, everything we are sharing with you live gets recorded on YouTube, and we have an amazing playlist. We are on our goal to record 108 different versions of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So you have all this type of beautiful rags singing the Maha Mantra.
For different moods.
Yes, yes. So please listen to the Maha Mantra only playlist and to this Kirtan class where we have right now up to the 20. We're on number 20 right now. Of the ragas, which is great. So we're on our quest to 108. And also, if you like to support what we do, we welcome your support. On the screen, the PayPal account is paypal.me/Krishna Kirtan Music for any amount of your choice. And patreon.com/Krishna Kirtan Music is that one is on a subscription base, which we also include Kirtan classes.
Yeah, there are Kirtan classes, one-on-one, yeah.
Yeah, so right now we currently have 2, so there's 2 more slots once a month. So it's really nice.
I know we can't handle more than 4.
Yes.
And then also, because we are in the Americas right now, for Venmo, it's at Krishna Kirtan Music for Venmo. So thanks so much. We love to share our practice with you, and we hope you enjoy it and get something out of it. And we're also, for those patrons and our supporters, we are super grateful. It really helps us to do our service, and we love you.
Absolutely. So thank you so
pronto.
much. And for those on you on Zoom, please stick around. If you have any questions and you are on YouTube or Facebook, please put it on the comments below, and we'll try to follow up within the next couple of days, okay? Thank you very much.
One last thing. Next week, we're going to have a guest kirtaneer as well. We're going to be on the road. So next week, we'll have slightly different format and another guest kirtaneer with us.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting.
And I think we know the name.
It's
Leela
Kirtana from Krishna Village.
Absolutely.
She's a wonderful yoga teacher and wonderful kirtaneer.
Yes, yes. So you'll enjoy the super kirtan we're having for you prepared for next week. So stick around. Put your kirtan alarm for 7 p.m. Los Angeles on a Wednesday and 7 p.m. Sydney on a Wednesday as well. Okay?
2 different times.
Haribol, Radhe, Radhe.